The Congo rainforest, the second largest tropical forest on Earth, blankets more than 500 million acres, where over 10,000 plant species weave a living labyrinth, where light is a luxury and darkness is the common tongue. This expedition through the Congo Basin begins here, where each ecological zone has its own king, its own law. A question echoes through every canopy layer. What keeps the green heart of Africa beating, and what is causing it to stop? But before stepping into the darkness of the Congo, meet Africa's greatest predator, the uncrowned king, the species that has claimed every grassland as its own. At midday, the East African savanna shimmers with heat. Golden grass sways beneath the hot wind, the horizon dissolving into a thermal mirage. Most animals lie resting in the shade, but one lioness is on the move. Her shoulder blades jut upward, ribs etched beneath the skin. She has not eaten in 4 days. Two miles away, 3 cubs lie huddled in the scrub, their ribs standing out like thin wooden slats beneath their sleek fur. The smallest, just 6 weeks old, stopped playing yesterday. Today, the lioness cannot wait for nightfall. If she fails to find food, the smallest may not survive another day. She moves into the wind, belly pressed to the ground, using every tall tuft of grass, every termite mound for cover. 40 yards, 35 yards, 30 yards. Ahead of her, a herd of wildebeest graze with heavy-lidded eyes in the midday heat. The scorching air has made them sluggish, less vigilant than usual. Research at Kruger National Park using LiDAR technology has shown that lions exploit terrain thickets, tall grass, raised ground to ambush prey in broad daylight, compensating for the lost advantage of darkness. Lionesses typically hunt in a wing formation, a tactic resembling a military flanking maneuver. But today, she hunts alone. No formation, no allies, only instinct and the desperation of a mother. The wildebeest at the edge of the herd dips its head, 1 second of lost vigilance. The lioness explodes from absolute stillness to 35 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. Dust erupts beneath the blazing sun. Impact. The dust settles. Then silence. 7 out of 10 lion hunts end in failure. Every successful meal is paid for with days of patience, miles of tracking, and sometimes with the hunter's own blood. But today, desperation has beaten the odds. She drags the kill across the dry grass, toward the thicket where her young are waiting. Afternoon light spills across the savanna, gilding the tall grass gold. Three cubs tear at small strips of meat beside their mother, the smallest still alive. The kingdom of the lion is the open plain where the horizon stretches without end, where hunter and prey see each other from miles away. But not every ruler chooses the open sky. Deep within the heart of Africa, a forest older than human memory conceals predators no less formidable hunters, stalking through a darkness thicker than any Serengeti night. The Congo rainforest awaits. From above, the Congo Basin resembles an endless green carpet, stretching from the foothills of the Rwenzori Mountains in the east to the Atlantic coast in the west. But look closer, and that carpet is breathing. This is the second largest tropical forest on Earth, surpassed only by the Amazon. More than 500 million acres of trees, vines, and fungi form a colossal living system. Each layer of canopy is a world unto itself. The Congo craton, the ancient bedrock beneath this forest, formed 3.6 billion years ago, when the Earth had no oxygen to breathe. It is one of the oldest fragments of continental crust on the planet. The Congo River cuts through the center of the basin like a main artery, at depths reaching 720 feet, the deepest in the world. It carries within it more than 700 species of freshwater fish, more than any other river system in Africa. But what makes the Congo truly extraordinary lies not in what can be seen, but in what hides beneath. In 2017, scientists uncovered a hidden treasure beneath the swamps of the Cuvette Centrale, more than 30.6 billion tons of carbon, exceeding all the forests of the United States combined. This peatland, spanning 55,000 square miles, has been silently absorbing carbon for 11,000 years. Among the more than 10,000 plant species found here, 30% exist nowhere else on Earth. Each time a Gilbertiodendron duvevre tree collapses, the gap it leaves ignites a competition for light that can last decades among hundreds of saplings. But the Congo rainforest is not built by trees alone. It is kept alive by the creatures within. And of all the inhabitants of this forest, none is closer to us than the bonobo. Salonga National Park, spanning roughly 13,000 square miles, is the largest tropical forest reserve in Africa. UNESCO designated it a World Heritage Site in 1984, dividing it into northern and southern sectors, separated by a dense corridor of pristine forest. This is the kingdom of the bonobo, a primate that shares 98.7% of its DNA with humans. In the world of bonobos, everything is reversed. Here, females hold power. Males, though larger, must yield. Social order is not established through violence, but through emotional bonds. The bonobo is the only great ape that resolves conflict through social bonding rather than aggression. A trait that exists in no other great ape, including the chimpanzee, their closest relative. The two species diverged roughly 1 to 2 million years ago, when the Congo River became an impassable barrier. Chimpanzees to the north, bonobos to the south, the same ancestor, but two utterly different evolutionary paths. Salonga harbors approximately 40% of the world's entire bonobo population. The total population is estimated between 29,500 and 50,000 individuals, though the true number may be far lower. A female bonobo cradles her infant, moving through the canopy with the confidence of one who commands. Below, two young males groom each other, a quiet act of diplomacy in a society where force is the last resort. But even in this kingdom of peace, danger lurks from above. Leaving Salonga and moving eastward, the dense jungle gradually gives way to an entirely different world, where solid ground dissolves into water, and the boundary between forest and swamp vanishes completely. The eastern Congo swamp forest, a labyrinth of channels, waterlogged trees, and pale green light filtering through the canopy. This is the domain of those who know how to wait. The Angola Colobus, draped in jet black fur edged with silver white, sits motionless on a branch, re-chewing food in its specialized multi-chambered stomach. Unlike most primates, this species has evolved to digest leaves, a resource that most animals cannot touch. The Angola Colobus strategy is absolute patience. Sit still, eat slowly, digest thoroughly, and almost never descend to the ground. In the Congo forest, the one that moves least sometimes lives longest. But even stillness cannot shield them from the eyes above. The crowned eagle, one of the largest and most powerful eagles in Africa, circles above the canopy. A 6-foot wingspan slices through the air without a sound. With talons strong enough to crush a monkey's skull, the crowned eagle is the silent terror of every primate in the Congo forest. It does not need speed, it needs precision. One dive, 8 seconds, and a young colobus vanishes from the branch without a cry. This is the law of the eastern swamp forest, where vigilance is the only currency of value. The price of 1 second's inattention, and death arrives from the sky. Salonga, Lomami, Yangambi, 3 major conservation zones struggling to preserve what remains. But lines on a map cannot stop the sound of chainsaws, and fences cannot block wire snares. Deeper in the swamp, where light is little more than a memory, something more patient than any leopard is waiting, and it has been waiting here longer than any mammal. To the northwest, where the Congo forest grows thickest, an army is assembling not in silence, but in chaos. And the one leading that army wears a face painted by nature in every color imaginable. The mandrill, the largest monkey in the family, Cercopithecidae. An adult male weighs between 42 and 82 pounds, its face painted red and blue like a warrior's mask, 2-inch canine teeth bared with every grimace. When a dominant male mandrill leads his troop through the forest, the ground trembles, because a mandrill troop is no small gathering. At Lope National Park in Gabon, a neighboring country to the west of the Congo, researchers have documented mandrill troops exceeding 1,000 individuals, 1,000 pairs of eyes, 1,000 sets of fangs, moving through the jungle like an advancing army. If the leopard is the solitary assassin patient, silent, waiting, then the mandrill is its perfect antithesis. They survive through numbers, through noise, through collective strength. But even an army of 1,000 has its vulnerable, and the vulnerable in the Congo forest do not live long. A young mandrill separated from its troop just a few minutes is enough to become a target for the crowned eagle above or the African rock python coiled below. In this forest, the distance between safety and death is sometimes just a few steps. From the northwestern forest, following the Congo River eastward, one encounters the Rwenzori Mountains, the Mountains of the Moon. The Rwenzori rises to 16,762 feet at Margarita Peak, the third highest mountain in Africa. Its slopes are draped in moss, giant ferns taller than a person, and plant species that appear to belong to another planet. And on those mist-shrouded slopes, one remarkable primate has chosen a most unconventional way of life. Lohest's monkey, one of the few Old World monkeys that spends most of its time on the ground rather than in the trees. They move through the dense Rwenzori forest on all fours, sifting through leaf litter for fallen fruit and insects. Living on the ground in a forest full of predators, that is a high-stakes gamble. But in return, Lohest's monkeys access food sources that arboreal species never reach. And they play a role few ever witness seed dispersal. Each day, as they travel across the forest floor, Lohest's monkeys scatter tree seeds through their droppings, helping the Rwenzori forest regenerate along paths that the wind could never carry seeds. Leaving the mountain slopes and returning to the lowlands, the landscape transforms entirely. Hard ground turns to mud, mud turns to water, and water in the Congo always has an owner. The western Congo swamp forest, where the river widens to 9 miles, creates an amphibious world, half land, half water, where the line between life and death blurs with the water level. The Sitatunga, a semi-aquatic antelope, is the master of still waters. Males weigh between 154 and 275 pounds, bearing a pair of spiraling horns measuring 18 to 36 inches. But the Sitatunga's true weapon is not its horns, it is its feet. Unusually splayed hooves, like natural flippers, allow the Sitatunga to sprint across floating vegetation where any other mammal would sink. When pursued, they plunge straight into the water, submerge until only the nostrils remain above the surface, and wait for the threat to move on. Fear here is not weakness. Fear is a survival tactic honed across millions of years of evolution. And the creature that drives the Sitatunga to fear does not dwell on land, it dwells beneath the water. The African forest elephant, smaller and more elusive than its savanna cousin, standing 6 to 10 feet tall, weighing between 2 and 6.6 tons. Its tusks point straight downward, an adaptation for piercing through dense forest rather than sweeping across open grassland. Each day, a forest elephant consumes roughly 330 pounds of vegetation. But that is not merely eating, it is architecture. As forest elephants move through the jungle, they carve trails maintained across generations, green highways that hundreds of other species depend upon. They topple trees, open clearings for light, disperse seeds through their dung, every footfall an act of creation. Forest elephant herds are led by a matriarch, communicating through infrasound frequencies too low for the human ear, yet transmitted through the ground for miles. In a dense forest, where sight is limited, sound becomes the arms. The IUCN classified the African forest elephant as critically endangered in 2021. The population has declined 86% in 31 years, a rate of extinction that few species can endure. But today, in this swamp, a herd of 7 forest elephants continues to move slowly, majestically, patiently, as though unaware that time is running out. Beside these giants, a far smaller creature lies in wait motionless as a rotting log. The dwarf crocodile, the smallest crocodile in the world, rests half submerged in the swamp water. When the dry season arrives and the waters recede, they dig burrows in the mud and enter a state of semi-hibernation, a strategy of supreme patience that few reptiles can rival. Not far away, perched on the canopy above the swamp, the African grey parrot, listed by the IUCN as endangered, not critically endangered, cracks open a forest fruit with its curved beak. Every half-eaten fruit, every seed that falls to the ground, is a potential new tree. African grey parrots are unwitting foresters. From the western swamp, the Congo River leads to the largest wetland in Africa, a place where even maps dare not draw precise boundaries. The Cuvette Centrale, roughly 55,000 square miles of swamp, flooded forest, and interlacing tributaries. This is the largest wetland in Africa, and one of the least explored ecosystems on the planet. In the murky waters of the Cuvette, two crocodile species share territory, but never share prey. The Nile crocodile, a colossus reaching 20 feet in length, weighing approximately 2,200 pounds. It lies motionless on the bank, only its yellow eyes breaking the water's surface, waiting for prey with a patience sharpened by 300 million years of evolution. The Nile crocodile does not chase. It waits for hours, for days, until the prey steps within striking distance. And then, one snap. The most powerful bite force in the modern animal kingdom. There is no second chance. Beside that giant, a smaller relative lives an entirely different existence. The slender-snouted crocodile, a fish-catching specialist, with a narrow snout engineered to slice through water like a rapier. Where the Nile crocodile relies on brute force, the slender-snouted crocodile uses speed and surgical precision. But here lies a turning point few are aware of. The West African Slender-snouted crocodile, Mecistops cataphractus, now numbers fewer than 500 mature individuals. The IUCN lists it as critically endangered. While the Nile crocodile still dominates every river, its smaller cousin slides steadily toward extinction. The Nile monitor, reaching 8 feet in length, of the family Varanidae patrols the riverbank with a slow, deliberate gait, its head swaying, its forked tongue tasting the air for scent. It eats everything: crocodile eggs, carrion, insects, fish, the silent profiteer in every other creature's battle. Above, the black stork, a migratory bird that has traveled more than 3,000 miles from Europe, perches motionless atop a dead tree, gazing down at the fish-filled waters. Each winter, they abandon the cold of Europe for this place where winter does not exist. The Congo River carries within it more than 700 species of freshwater fish, more than any other river system in Africa. This is a living gene bank, where every bend, every stagnant pool, every stretch of rapids generates its own selective pressure-producing species that exist nowhere else. Leaving the Cuvette Centrale and heading west, the flooded forest gradually transitions to coastal woodland, where salt spray from the Atlantic mingles with the humid air, and light begins to penetrate the canopy more freely. The equatorial Atlantic coastal forest, a narrow strip of woodland running along the coast from Cameroon to Angola. Here, the leaf litter lies so thick that the ground becomes cushioned, and that makes it the perfect domain for the most patient ambush predator in the Congo. The gaboon viper, a venomous snake bearing the longest fangs in the world, a full 2 inches. It lies motionless on the leaf litter, its geometric patterned skin dissolving into the forest floor as though it were simply part of the earth. For weeks on end, it does not move, waiting with a patience that even the Nile crocodile might envy. Each bite delivers between 200 and 600 milligrams of venom. The strike occurs in under half a second faster than a human's reflex to pull away. In the Congo, patience is not a virtue. Patience is a biological weapon perfected across millions of years. Not far from the Gaboon viper, another hunter employs the opposite strategy entirely. The serval, possessing the longest legs relative to body size of any wild cat, stands motionless in tall grass, its oversized ears rotating like radar dishes, listening for mice beneath the vegetation. Then it leaps, soaring 6 to 9 feet into the air, both forepaws slamming down with astonishing accuracy. If the Gaboon viper is the embodiment of pure patience, the serval is the embodiment of reflex, two opposing tactics, coexisting in a single forest. If you too are captivated by these master predators of the Congo, share your thoughts in the comments below. But on the Katanga Plateau, the battle is not merely between hunter and prey, but between an ecosystem that has lost its king. From the coastal forest, traveling more than 1,000 miles to the southeast, the landscape shifts entirely. The dense jungle disappears. Sparse Miombo woodland emerges. And on the Katanga Plateau, another story, darker, more tragic, waits to be told. The Katanga Plateau, sitting at an elevation of 3,900 to 5,900 feet, stretching across southeastern Congo. Sparse Miombo woodland replaces the dense rainforest. Light pierces through the canopy for the first time since we entered the Congo Basin. This is the land of Upemba and Kundalungu National Parks, two vast reserves where the roar of the lion once echoed every night. Because the lion has vanished from Katanga. Remember, just minutes ago in this story, we witnessed a lioness fighting through the heat of the Serengeti, ribs visible beneath her skin, hunting to feed her 3 young cubs. We felt the power and tenacity of the king of beasts. But in the Congo, that king is gone. Decades of armed conflict and systematic poaching wiped the lion population from Upemba and Kundalungu by the late 2000s. Not decline, not endangered, vanished. The throne stands empty, and when the throne is empty, another steps forward. In ecology, this phenomenon is called a trophic cascade, a domino effect, triggered when a critical link disappears from the food chain. When the lion falls, the entire power structure of the ecosystem is rewritten. And the one that rewrote that structure is the spotted hyena. The spotted hyena, the largest pack-living carnivore in Africa. Females weigh between 99 and 198 pounds larger than males, stronger than males, and holding absolute authority within the clan. This is one of the few fully matriarchal societies among mammalian carnivores, where males hold the lowest rank and must beg permission from females to eat. On the East African savanna, the spotted hyena is the lion's fiercest competitor, stealing kills in 20 to 30% of encounters. But the lion always held the ultimate power of life and death. In Katanga, the holder of that power has vanished, and the spotted hyena has stepped into the void. Without lions to control their numbers, hyena clans expand their territory, hunt with greater frequency, and exert mounting pressure on prey populations. The old balance is shattered, and a new balance has yet to form. The prey grants zebra, antelope, Cape buffalo still roam Upemba. But they inhabit a world where the old rules no longer apply. The new power does not possess the lion's majesty, but it wields something more formidable: numbers. Grant zebra, a subspecies of the plain zebra, still graze on the Katanga plateau, as though time has never changed. But each night, the wild cackling of hyenas rings out in place of the lion's roar, and that difference tells the whole story. The king has departed, the throne stands empty, and the ecosystem is rewriting its own rules. From Katanga, heading northeast farther still, to the border between Congo and South Sudan, one reaches Garamba National Park, and there, another species stands on the brink. The Kordofan giraffe, with roughly 40 individuals remaining at Garamba, is among the rarest giraffe populations on Earth. 40. Not 4,000, not 400. "40 lives, surviving day by day in a national park where poaching has never truly been brought under control." Each Kordofan giraffe stands up to 18 feet tall, with pale brown patches on a cream-colored hide, a subtle distinction from other subspecies. They move slowly through the Miombo woodland, their long necks swaying with each stride, like the last living towers of a crumbling empire. Garamba, the oldest national park in Africa, was once home to the northern white rhinoceros. The rhinoceros has vanished. Will the giraffe follow the same fate? That question does not need an answer. It needs action. But before action, we must understand that the Congo is not merely a forest. It is a lung. It is a heart. And that heart is weakening. The northern white rhinoceros, a species that once roamed the savannas of Central Africa, is now reduced to just 2 female individuals on the entire planet. Najin and Fatu both live at the Olpejeta Conservancy in Kenya, not in the Congo, under 24-hour armed guard protection. Two individuals, both female. No males survive. Biologically, this species is already extinct. Time simply has not confirmed it. The story of the northern white rhinoceros is not an exception. It is a microcosm of the entire Congo. Forest elephants declined 86% in 31 years. Lions vanished from Katanga. Slender-snouted crocodiles number fewer than 500. Kordofan giraffes, 40. And the cause is not nature. The cause is human. % of the world's cobalt comes from the Congo, the metal embedded in every smartphone, every electric vehicle, every lithium battery that the modern world cannot function without. Every ton of cobalt extracted means acres of forest leveled, miles of river poisoned. Rainfall patterns are shifting in ways no one can predict. Dry seasons grow longer. Wildfires spread wider. And the Cuvette Centrale peatland, a carbon vault holding 30.6 billion tons, is beginning to dry. If that carbon is released into the atmosphere, the consequences will not stop at the Congo. They will reach every corner of the planet. The Congo has lost more than 1 million hectares of forest in the past decade alone. Each hectare represents thousands of ancient trees, millions of insects, and countless stories never told. The green heart of Africa still beats, but each beat is weaker than the last. At the beginning of this story, we said that patience is the most lethal weapon. The leopard waits, the Nile crocodile waits, the Gaboon viper waits. But patience cannot save any creature when the forest disappears beneath its feet. On the East African savanna, lions still roar each night, the sound carrying across the tall grass, through the acacia scrub, through millions of years of evolution. But in the Congo, that roar fell silent long ago, and that silence is more terrifying than any predator. What keeps the green heart of Africa beating? Perhaps it is the quiet tenacity of every species still holding on, bonobos still grooming one another in the Salonga canopy, forest elephants still carving trails through the swamp, grey parrots still planting seeds without ever knowing gratitude. But what is causing it to stop? The answer lies in the hands of the only primate on Earth with the capacity to choose between destruction and preservation. In our hands, the Congo River still flows nearly 3,000 miles through the heart of the continent, crossing the equator twice, carrying 700 species of fish and the memory of 3.6 billion years. It knows no haste. It knows no fear. It only knows how to flow, patiently, as it always has. Thank you for journeying with WildVerse. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. If you have not yet subscribed, now is the perfect time. We will see you on the next adventure. But predator and prey are ever present, lurking in every moment. A single moment of vulnerability can seal a fate. And it is this very fragility that forges the fierce beauty of the wild. From the ancient heart of Africa, a colossal arena rises, a kingdom where primal forces still shape destiny. And nature's most formidable architects carve their lives in the shadow of giants. Herds of wildebeest and zebra merge, a vibrant current of life. The Ngorongoro Crater, where peace is an illusion, The unforgiving wild is the reality. In this natural amphitheater, species are locked in a constant struggle for survival, forging a delicate balance across the entire ecosystem. This is the Ngorongoro crater, the ultimate crucible of life, where the lords of the savannah are forever locked in a contest for dominion. But the serene beauty of the dawn is a deception. Here, the light brings not salvation, but the tolling bell that signals the beginning of the hunt. Under the first rays of sun that touch the Ngorongoro crater, a majestic landscape is revealed, a perfect stage for life and death confrontations. Around the wetlands of the Goringop swamp, herds of African buffalo move in silence, gathering in tight formations to protect one another. However, from deep within the dense tall grasses, a pair of sharp eyes is watching. It is a lion. It observes its prey with a calculated calm, always ready to launch into the hunt with agility and decisiveness. But no attack is easy. A powerful gore from an adult buffalo can severely injure a lion. However, this is not just a confrontation between two species. In the sky, a Rupel's griffon vulture circles, waiting for the opportunity to clean up the remnants of the battle. On the ground, hyenas sneakily lurk, looking for a chance to steal the prize from the so-called king of the savannah. In a self-contained natural arena, the classic confrontation between two forces of the savannah unfolds, the lion and the African buffalo. This is a battle between the most formidable predator and the most fearsome herbivore, an ultimate test that decides the balance of the entire ecosystem. The Ngorongoro lions, forged in this isolated environment, are renowned for their large stature and superior strength. Their bodies are perfect killing machines, from their crushing jaws to their razor-sharp claws. For the male, the dense mane is not only a symbol of power and health to attract mates, but also a natural armor in life-or-death battles. Their hunting strategy is a symphony of brutality and precision. Often led by the females, they coordinate in silence, using terrifying speed and long leaps to isolate a weak individual from the herd. However, the king of the savannah does not always win. Even with sophisticated tactics, their success rate is only about 30%, a figure that shows the immense danger and challenge when facing resilient prey like the African buffalo. And the reason for those failures lies in their very target. An adversary that never accepts the role of victim, but is ready to turn the hunter into the hunted. Inside the natural fortress of the Ngorongoro crater, the African buffalo reigns. They are not just gentle grazers, but a symbol of primal power and an unbreakable spirit of unity. This is one of the best armed herbivores on the planet. Weighing up to a ton, their bodies are a solid mass of muscle. But their real weapon lies in their famous horns, a defensive shield and a deadly offensive tool. However, the greatest strength of the buffalo is not in the individual, but in the collective. They form a living, mobile fortress, where every member has a role. When a predator dares to attack, the herd's response is immediate and absolute. They will form a wall of horn and muscle that is almost impenetrable, a defensive circle protecting the young and the weak at the center. It is this ironclad unity that has made the African buffalo not just prey, but one of the most formidable and respected forces on the savanna. The Ngorongoro crater, with its wild beauty and the vibrant wetland system around Lake Magadi, is home to one of Africa's rarest species, the black rhino. This is one of the few remaining black rhino populations in East Africa, with a total estimated number of only about 30 recorded individuals. They usually live near Lake Magadi, where the abundant water source and stable vegetation provide the necessary conditions for their survival. The black rhino possesses a powerful body, weighing from 1,800 to 3,100 pounds. Its thick, dark grey skin protects it from both the harsh climate and potential attacks. Its characteristic curved horns, with the front one reaching up to 20 inches, are not only a defensive tool, but also help them dig for food. The solitary, or mother calf living habit, helps the black rhino reduce the risk of being detected by predators or humans. However, this trait also poses challenges for the species' reproduction and conservation. Poaching for their horns remains the main cause of the severe decline in their numbers. The Ngorongoro crater, with its pristine beauty and the vibrant wetland system around Lake Magadi, is home to one of Africa's most majestic species, the African elephant. With its colossal size and dominant power, the African elephant is not only the largest land mammal on the planet, but also an essential part of the diverse ecological tapestry of this region. The evolutionary origins of the African elephant date back millions of years. Over time, they have adapted to various habitats, becoming a symbol of resilience in the natural world. In the Ngorongoro crater, the elephant population remains stable, with about 300 to 400 individuals concentrated near the lakes and wetlands, especially the Goringop swamp area, where water and vegetation are plentiful. The elephant's foraging behavior mainly takes place in the early morning and late evening, when the weather is cooler. During the day, they often seek shade or stay in the wetlands to cool off. Adult African elephants in Ngorongoro can weigh from 9,000 to over 13,000 pounds, stand nearly 13 feet at the shoulder, and measure between 20 and 25 feet in length, excluding the trunk. Their large ears have a dual function, regulating body temperature and as a communication tool. Their tusks can reach about 6.5 to 8 feet in length and weigh dozens of kilograms each. In extremely rare cases, exceptionally large tusks might approach 10 feet and nearly 200 pounds. With their majestic build, African elephants have almost no natural enemies. When they feel threatened, they use their trunks and tusks to counterattack. However, the most important factor is not just physical strength, but the unity of the herd. An adult female, known as the matriarch, usually leads the herd, guiding them with experience and intelligence to find food and deal with danger. When there is any sign of a threat, the adult individuals will move to the front, forming a protective barrier that shields the young at the center. By transforming the landscape, creating migration corridors, and maintaining natural resources, the African elephant plays a crucial role in shaping the ecology of the entire Ngorongoro crater. Their presence is a living testament to the order and harmony that creation has inscribed in nature. In the calm waters of the Goringop swamp, the hippopotamus plays an essential role in maintaining the stability of the local ecosystem. Its evolutionary history dates back to a common ancestor with whales, appearing about 55 million years ago. Over time, this species has adapted to live in freshwater environments. In the Ngorongoro crater, hippos are concentrated mainly in the lakes and wetlands, like the Goringop swamp, where the water and vegetation conditions are ideal for their life. With an average weight of 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, the hippopotamus is a symbol of strength and endurance. Its cylindrical and powerful body, along with a thick skin of about 2 inches, allows it to withstand harsh environmental conditions and minimize water loss. Its skin secretes a red substance, often called blood sweat, which helps protect it from UV rays and prevent bacterial infections, acting as a natural suit of armor. Their canine teeth, which can be up to 20 inches long, are an effective defensive weapon and a symbol of power in territorial disputes. Hippos spend most of the day submerged in water to maintain their body temperature. Its eyes, ears, and nostrils are located on top of its head, allowing it to observe and breathe with ease. At night, the hippo comes ashore to forage. It is a herbivore, consuming about 80 pounds of vegetation per night, mainly soft grasses growing near the shore. This nocturnal feeding habit also helps it avoid the daytime heat and reduce the risk of being attacked by predators. Despite its gentle appearance, the hippopotamus is actually one of the most aggressive animals in Africa. When it feels threatened, it uses its sharp canine teeth and a powerful bite of up to 1,800 psi to defend itself. In the ecosystem of the Ngorongoro crater, the hippopotamus is an indispensable link. Thanks to their constant movement in the water, they create natural circulation channels and disperse nutrients through their feces, helping to improve the quality of aquatic vegetation. These activities not only maintain the ecological balance, but also create living conditions for many other species, from small fish to water birds. The Ngorongoro crater, a vast caldera, is not only home to large animals, but also a paradise for over 500 species of birds. From the wetlands like the Goringop swamp to the Noitokitok hot springs, the presence of these small wings creates a colorful ecological landscape, reflecting the delicate balance of nature. The green grasslands and open woodlands around are also home to countless resident bird species. The weaver bird stands out, with its skillfully woven nests hanging from branches like small works of art. Meanwhile, the superb starling with its iridescent plumage flits among the low bushes. These birds not only beautify the landscape, but also play an essential role in seed dispersal. Amidst that serene silence, the grey-crowned crane appears, standing out with its vibrant plumage and a golden crown like a living symbol of Africa. Besides its unique appearance, This bird also plays a significant role in maintaining the ecological balance within this sacred caldera. The grey-crowned crane belongs to the Gruidae family, one of the most ancient bird lineages with an evolutionary history spanning millions of years. Unlike many other crane species, this bird has the ability to perch on trees thanks to its flexible leg structure with long toes. This feature allows it to adapt to a wide range of habitats, from wetlands and grasslands to open woodland areas. In the Ngorongoro crater, where unique natural elements converge, this species has found an ideal environment to thrive. Currently, it is estimated that there are about 100 to 150 grey-crowned cranes in the Ngorongoro crater area. However, globally, their numbers have declined significantly, with a total population of less than 50,000 individuals, leading the IUCN to classify this species as endangered. These birds often forage in shallow waters and grasslands near wetlands. As omnivores, they use their strong beaks to search for insects, small animals, seeds, and aquatic plants. The grey-crowned crane is also famous for the elegant dances it performs during the breeding season or to strengthen pair bonds. As a monogamous species, these birds form stable pairs, building nests and raising their young together. On the surface of Lake Magadi, thousands of lesser flamingos gather, creating a pink tableau of extraordinary beauty. Under the gentle sunset, when the surface of Lake Magadi reflects the pink of the flamingo's wings, an incredible visual spectacle is created. The lesser flamingo is one of the oldest recorded bird species. Their ancestors early adapted to alkaline environments, a harsh habitat where few species can survive. Through millions of years of evolution, they have become specialists in living in special lakes like Magadi. Lake Magadi, with its high alkalinity, provides ideal conditions for the lesser flamingo. It is estimated that 5,000 to 15,000 individuals inhabit this area. The lesser flamingo demonstrates remarkable adaptability to the alkaline and mineral-rich waters. The thick skin on their legs protects them from chemical corrosion. Living in large flocks not only increases their ability to detect threats, but also allows them to quickly identify areas with abundant food. The feeding behavior of the lesser flamingo is a harmonious dance with its environment. They move gently through the shallow water, using their curved beaks to filter spirulina algae and cyanobacteria. Each individual can consume several hundred grams of food per day, which not only maintains their health, but also regulates the algae biomass, improving the lake's water quality. Amidst the green grasslands stretching inside the Ngorongoro crater, the serval moves in silence, blending into the wild environment. This small wild cat is an essential part of the ecological structure here, where its elegance combines perfectly with a latent power. With a slender body, large, ever-alert ears, and silent movements, the serval becomes a mysterious but extremely precise predator. The serval is one of the oldest surviving cat species, reflecting the long evolution of small cats in Africa. This cat is widely distributed in sub-Saharan Africa, especially in savanna, swamp, and open woodland areas. In the Ngorongoro crater, the serval is mainly found on the western plains. The serval has a slender build with a height of 21 to 24 inches and a weight of 15 to 40 pounds. Its golden coat, with distinct black spots, allows it to camouflage effectively in the tall grass. Its large ears, one of its most notable features, can detect the slightest sounds of rodents. Its long legs give it agility and an impressive jumping ability, up to 12 feet in height and 9 feet in length, allowing it to attack from different angles. Its hunting strategy combines patience with speed. It moves slowly through the tall grass, its ears pricked to listen for any small movement. When it identifies its prey, it lunges with a quick speed and launches a powerful leap, using its sharp claws to snatch it. Its hunting efficiency is remarkable, with a success rate of up to 50%, much higher than many larger cat species. Grant's zebra is widely distributed in East Africa, from Tanzania to Kenya and Uganda, with a significant density in the Ngorongoro crater. It is estimated that the Grant zebra population in this area ranges from 4,000 to 5,000 individuals, playing a fundamental role in the ecological balance of the region. Grant's zebra can stand from 3.6 to 4.9 feet tall, with a weight of 485 to 700 pounds. Each individual has a unique stripe pattern, acting as a biological fingerprint, allowing them to easily recognize each other in the herd. Besides their unique beauty, these stripes also have essential functions for the species' survival. The black and white stripe pattern is not only for individual identification, but also acts as a camouflage when moving. When the whole herd moves in unison, predators can be disoriented by the optical effect. In addition, the stripes help regulate body temperature by creating air currents on the skin's surface, allowing the zebra to withstand the scorching heat of the savanna. Grant's zebra lives in small family groups, usually consisting of an adult male, a few females, and their young. During the migratory season, these small groups can merge into large herds of up to thousands of individuals. Their diet consists mainly of grass, making up to 90% of their intake. Thanks to an efficient digestive system, they can process even the tough grasses that other herbivores cannot utilize. But on the Ngorongoro savanna, perfect stripes do not always save a life. As the sun sets, the dance of survival begins to reveal its ruthless face. A zebra, separated from its herd. It has made a mistake. The golden phantoms lower themselves, gliding silently through the scorched grass. The distance is erased in an instant. Half a ton of force brings the prey down. Steel jaws clamp onto the throat. The battle is over. Victory belongs to the pride. In Ngorongoro, the death of one is the life of another. In the Ngorongoro crater, herds of Grant's gazelles silently cross the rolling grasslands, each gentle step like a wild melody of nature. This subspecies is distributed mainly in the East African region, from Tanzania and Kenya to southern Sudan. In the Ngorongoro crater, they usually inhabit the open plains, where the low vegetation and sparse thickets create an ideal environment for survival. It is estimated that the total number of Grant's gazelles in the region ranges from 1,500 to 2,000 individuals, maintaining a stable population in protected living conditions. Grant's gazelle possesses a slender yet powerful body, with a height of 31 to 37 inches, a weight of 77 to 180 pounds, and a pair of curved horns that can be up to 32 inches long. Its large eyes not only widen its field of vision, but also play an important role in detecting predators from a distance. The herd lifestyle allows Grant's gazelle to increase its chances of survival against threats. Each group usually consists of 10 to 30 individuals, with an adult male acting as the leader. Besides speed and agility, Grant's gazelle also possesses the ability to communicate effectively within the herd. They use warning sounds, body gestures, and organized movements to alert and react to danger. Around the Ngorongoro crater, the landscape does not stop at the caldera, but changes with every step. The surrounding mountain ranges, plains, and gorges reveal a whole new world. Along the mountain slopes, the Manj and Oloroinyuki rivers wind, carrying water from the highlands down to the caldera floor. Their waters not only nourish the open woodlands, but also create swamps where life congregates. The open woodlands on the crater's rim are a surprising part of the ecosystem. They are not as dense as a tropical forest, but softer, with a low canopy that shades a grass-covered ground. This is the perfect refuge for predators. The creatures that have adapted to this environment seek shelter and hunt in the shade of the canopy. Beyond the rim of the Ngorongoro crater, the Serengeti savanna stretches endlessly like a golden canvas under the sun. This is where the cheetah finds its ideal environment, an open space that allows it to display its incredible speed. Every run across the field is part of a natural symphony, telling the evolutionary story of the effort to adapt and survive in this harsh land. The cheetah's origins can be traced back millions of years, when its ancestors inhabited the vast savannas stretching from Africa to Asia and even North America. However, climate change and human impact have narrowed their distribution, and today they exist mainly in sub-Saharan Africa. In the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, cheetahs are found mainly in the grassland areas near the crater rim and around Lake Magadi. The population of this species in the area is estimated at 50 to 70 individuals, a small but important number in the complex ecosystem of the region. The cheetah is one of the few predators that hunts mainly during the day. They usually hunt in the early morning or late in the day, when the temperature is cooler and the risk of conflict with other large predators is lower. In the low grass areas, their common prey includes species like Thompson's gazelle, Grant's gazelle, and some large birds. The cheetah's hunting strategy combines patience with lightning speed. First, it approaches the prey stealthily, taking advantage of the environment to hide. When the distance closes to between 60 and 100 feet, the cheetah accelerates, capable of reaching 70 miles per hour in just a few seconds. However, the success rate for each hunt is only about 50%. Failure can be due to the prey's stamina or the intervention of other predators like hyenas, which often steal the prize without participating in the hunt. Currently, according to the IUCN classification, this species is in the vulnerable category, with a total global population of only 6,500 to 7,000 individuals. In Ngorongoro, conservation measures, such as controlling human activities and maintaining natural habitats, have helped to stabilize the cheetah population. On the grasslands at the edge of the Ngorongoro crater, the black-backed jackal glides gently through the tall bushes, its silver and black fur shimmering in the morning sun. It hunts small animals like rodents, birds, and lizards, but when the opportunity arises, it does not hesitate to join the feast on the carcasses of large animals left by lions. It often waits until the large predators have withdrawn, or takes advantage of the surrounding chaos to feed. The black-backed jackal is not only intelligent, but also resilient to the challenges of the environment. However, in the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, thanks to strict protection and conservation measures, their numbers remain stable at around 300 to 500 individuals. Hidden in the shade of the open woodland or concealed among rock crevices, the leopard appears as an artist of mystery, silently waiting for the perfect moment to act. Its yellowish-brown coat, with its characteristic black spots, blends with the light and shadow of the environment, making it a stealthy figure when stalking. The leopard's body is a masterpiece of evolution, designed to combine strength and agility. It is 4 to 6 feet long, weighs from 80 to 150 pounds, and has a tail nearly 3 feet long that helps it balance when climbing. Its well-developed muscles and sharp claws allow it to climb trees with ease, even while dragging prey heavier than its own weight. The leopard is solitary, only appearing in pairs during the mating season or when the mother is caring for her young. It spends most of the day resting on branches or in cool places, and is truly active at dawn or dusk. On the periphery of the Ngorongoro crater, it often chooses the intermediate areas between open woodland and grassland. Small antelopes like Thompson's gazelle or impala are its frequent prey. However, it can also hunt large birds, hares, or rodents when necessary. Its hunting success rate ranges from 30 to 50%. The leopard's hunting strategy is the pinnacle of patience and precision. It approaches its target in complete silence, reducing the distance to just 20 to 30 feet before launching a surprise attack. A quick and precise leap combined with a fatal bite to the neck or nape of the prey ends the hunt in just a few seconds. In the context of climate change and human pressure, the animals here face many threats. This area is like a giant natural theater, with volcanic rock walls up to 2,000 feet high. This unique geological structure has created a closed space where biodiversity thrives, but at the same time poses significant limits on mobility and access to resources. Herbivores like wildebeest and zebra often have difficulty finding food and water, especially during prolonged dry seasons. Meanwhile, larger species, like elephants, face immense pressure due to resource scarcity. In addition, agricultural and livestock activities on the edge of the Ngorongoro Conservation Area increase competition for resources between wildlife and local communities. Grassland areas are shrinking, water resources are overexploited, and there is a potential risk of disease transmission from livestock to wildlife. In particular, African buffalo and wildebeest constantly face the loss of their habitat due to the unsustainable use of natural resources. Since 2023, the reserve has become a bright spot, with initiatives to protect endangered species like the black rhino. Anti-poaching patrol teams use drones and GPS systems, reducing poaching incidents by up to 70% compared to the period from 2018 to 2020. Meanwhile, habitat restoration projects, such as the replanting of over 7 square miles of native forest around the Goringop swamp, have helped to increase grassland area by 30%. Artificial irrigation in lakes like Lake Magadi has also allowed flamingos to continue to find refuge and food. The Ngorongoro Conservation Area, with over 600,000 visitors per year, also uses tourism revenue, about $50 million in 2023, to invest in research and conservation infrastructure. Conserving Ngorongoro in particular, and protecting the environment in general, is not just the responsibility of one organization or individual, but of all humanity. Each person can contribute to the conservation effort by supporting wildlife protection organizations, limiting the use of products derived from hunted animals, and participating in raising environmental awareness. Responsible tourism, contributing to conservation funds, and reducing our own ecological footprint are concrete actions. Protecting Ngorongoro today is to preserve the breath of nature for the future.
The cheetah, an aerodynamic masterpiece of nature. The dark tear marks running from its eyes are not for mourning. They are a built-in anti-glare design, helping it to spot prey from miles away. Hunger urges it into the danger zone. The prey is a lone warthog, a creature that can survive for months without drinking, drawing moisture from tubers and roots. In just 3 seconds, the chase reaches nearly 60 miles per hour. The cheetah's spine flexes like a colossal spring, releasing all its stored energy with every 23-foot stride. But the fugitive finds its salvation underground. An abandoned burrow becomes an impregnable fortress. A warthog always reverses into its den so that its tusks growing up to a foot long, become the last line of defense. The cheetah's gamble has not paid off. But when there is no shelter, the warthog chooses the most violent solution, to counterattack. At 220 pounds and a speed of 30 miles per hour, it charges like a cannonball, powerful enough to shatter the cheetah's slender bones. Failure in the hunt forces the cheetah to rest, but the pulse of survival continues in another form. For this family of warthogs, discipline is the key to survival in this sea of elephant grass. The tail, held bolt upright with its tufted tip, acts as a visual beacon. This simple signal helps the sounder maintain formation, preventing anyone from getting lost in an environment where visibility is almost zero. Because danger in the Serengeti comes not only from sprints of speed, it also comes from the silent ambush. But these moments of peace on the savannah are only ever temporary. As the small birds depart, the silence signals another threat. A true phantom of the Serengeti lies in wait. The leopard. The rosettes on its coat break up its outline, allowing it to dissolve into the dance of light and shadow. Its eyes, 7 times more powerful than our own, have locked onto the jugular vein of its victim. Unlike the cheetah, the leopard's body is a mass of muscle built for short, explosive bursts of power rather than long-distance chases. Victory is swift. The meal, however, cannot yet begin. Even in the most secluded hiding place, it is not safe. This is when nature's harshest law is enforced. The powerful take all. A male lion, a 450-pound biological tank, appears. With a bite force of around 650 pounds per square inch, it can crush the skull of any rival. This is a phenomenon known to science as kleptoparasitism, theft by another species. The leopard is fortunate to escape. It knows this is a battle it cannot win. The loss is real, but the instinct to survive is greater. Perhaps 20% of its kills will be lost to lions or hyenas. For the lion, stealing from smaller predators is an efficient, energy-saving strategy. Supreme power on the plains is determined not by skill, but by brute force. But on the southern plains of the Serengeti, where there are no trees for cover, the lion's muscular power becomes a disadvantage. This is a stage set for speed, and the cheetah is its brightest star. The pressure of her own hunger and of the helpless cubs waiting for her forces the mother to concentrate. Here in the Serengeti, the statistics are grim. Only 5% of cheetah cubs survive to adulthood. Every hunt is a life or death gamble. To become the fastest creature on the planet, the cheetah has made a harsh pact with evolution. It has sacrificed strength for speed. Its skeleton is slender and light. Its claws, not fully retractable, act like the spikes on a sprinter's shoe to grip the earth. It has no weapons for close quarters combat. and the opportunists are always aware of that. Victory is secured, but the mother cannot yet return to her cubs. After an exhausting sprint, her body temperature continues to rise, forcing her to rest and cool down. This is the moment she is at her most vulnerable. And the baboons know it. They approach with insolence, led by aggressive alpha males. Their intent is clear in their 2-inch canine teeth. Surrender the kill. The ground thumping, the guttural snarls, and the hungry stares form a brutal psychological assault designed to break the will of the lone predator. And now, the tragedy of its evolutionary trade-off becomes starkly clear. To gain its speed, it had to sacrifice power. A delicate skeleton, claws blunted for traction, not combat. Its body was not made for physical confrontation. Against the aggression of an entire troop, it is utterly helpless. The mother must calculate for the future. An injury to her leg now would be a death sentence. But most importantly, she remembers her cubs, hidden nearby. If the baboons were to find them, they would show no mercy, a brutal strategy to eliminate future competitors. Confronting a troop of baboons is never a wise choice. Her solitude is her fatal weakness. The pulse of the Serengeti is not shaped by cats alone. Another dynasty of killers also asserts its power, defined by terrifying jaws and a complex social structure. Forget the image of the cowardly scavenger. In the Serengeti, the spotted hyena is a true killing machine. Their bite force is a staggering 1,100 pounds per square inch, stronger than that of a lion or leopard. They are the only mammals in Africa capable of crushing the long bones of a buffalo or giraffe. A digestive system containing highly concentrated hydrochloric acid allows them to break down bone, teeth, and horn. But their true weapon lies not only in their jaws. Unlike the cats, which rely on short bursts of energy, the spotted hyena possesses an enormous heart, accounting for nearly 1% of its body weight. This biological engine allows them to sustain speeds of 37 miles per hour over long distances. Turning the hunt into a game of psychological torture until the prey collapses from exhaustion. What truly elevates them to the top of the Serengeti's food chain is their absolute matriarchal society. Here, the female is king. Due to a surge of androgen hormones in the womb, females are larger, more aggressive, and completely dominate the males. Their ancient feud with lions is not just about food, but a war without quarter. And the hyena is one of the very few that dares to challenge the king head-on. When they sense a lion is at a disadvantage, they don't attack in chaos, but with a calculated siege. Their numerical advantage turns the lion's solitary strength into helplessness. Overwhelmed by relentless aggression, even the ruler must retreat. It is a declaration. An affirmation that on the stage of the Serengeti, the crown can change hands at any moment. The power struggle between lions and hyenas keeps the Serengeti in a state of dramatic equilibrium. The sun may bake the earth to over 104 degrees Fahrenheit, but as night descends, the lethal hunt truly begins. This is the stage for pursuits without end, and the homeland of the African wild dog. They are born marathon runners. Their ancestors appeared some 1.7 million years ago, when a changing climate transformed dense forests into vast grasslands. The body of a wild dog is a masterpiece of evolution, crafted for speed and stamina. Weighing only 40 to 80 pounds, they are among Africa's lightest weight predators. Their long, slender legs have just 4 toes, a distinctive feature that helps them glide across the plains without expending needless energy. Their coat is a canvas of colors, with chaotic splashes of black, white, and yellow. Each individual possesses a pattern as unique as a human fingerprint. Their way of life is defined by cooperation. To be alone on the savannah is to be condemned, and so they have developed a tightly knit social structure. Each pack typically has from 10 to 40 members, functioning as a large family. At its heart is the alpha pair, usually the strongest male and female. This pair are the only members permitted to breed. This ensures the stability of resources and maintains the pack's social order. When the alpha pair has pups, all other members of the pack share the responsibility of care. They take turns standing guard and bringing food back to the den. This solidarity is the very key to their survival, a testament to the power of the collective in the natural world. Every hunt begins with meticulous observation, a search for any prey showing signs of weakness or separation from the herd. But the decision to attack does not rest with one individual. They have a unique form of communication to reach a consensus. A vote conducted by sneezing. When enough votes are cast, the hunt begins. They rely not on solitary strength, but on the coordination of a precisely programmed machine. The swiftest individuals run ahead to apply pressure, while others move to the flanks, cutting off all avenues of escape. This strategy gives them a hunting success rate of up to 85%, a staggering figure that far exceeds most other predators. Once the prey is brought down, they must eat quickly. But not just for themselves. They have a remarkable behavior of regurgitating a portion of their meal to share with the pups and the members who remained at the den. On the other side of the scale of power are the lions, the undisputed kings of this land. They appeared around 2 million years ago, their bodies built to dominate. A fully grown male lion can weigh up to 550 pounds. Unlike wild dogs, lions are not born for long-distance chases. They are masters of the ambush, using explosive power over short distances. A tawny coat provides perfect camouflage against the dry grass, and their eyes can see in darkness 6 times better than our own. The social organization of a lion pride is also complex. A pride typically consists of related females, their offspring, and 1 or 2 adult males. The lionesses are the primary hunters. They coordinate seamlessly to encircle and bring down large prey like buffalo or zebra. Meanwhile, the male's duty is to protect the territory. With their superior size and a roar that carries for miles, they are a symbol of power and dominance. Although their hunting success rate is only around 30 to 40%, the ability to take down enormous prey secures their position at the apex of the food chain. A lion's bite can generate a formidable force, and with canines reaching up to 4 inches, it is enough to penetrate the thickest of hides. When these two apex predators meet, the disparity in power becomes starkly apparent. Lions frequently steal the kills of wild dogs. The mere presence of a single adult lion is often enough to send an entire pack of wild dogs fleeing, forcing them to abandon their meal. This is not just a competition for food. Lions sometimes actively attack wild dogs to eliminate a competitor. One study in the Serengeti recorded a pride of lions killing 6 wild dogs in just 15 minutes, a clear demonstration of the absolute power imbalance. Faced with the threat from lions, the wild dog's best strategy is avoidance. The survival of the pack is more important than a single meal. This fierce competition forces wild dog packs to be constantly on the move, seeking safer territories with lower lion densities. However, the presence of lions can sometimes offer an indirect benefit. The leftovers from a lion's kill can become a crucial source of nutrition for wild dogs in difficult times. But the greatest enemy for both lions and wild dogs is not another predator. It is us. The expansion of human settlements and agricultural land has encroached upon their natural habitats, leaving conservation areas fragmented and isolated. Diseases such as rabies and canine distemper, spread from domestic dogs, have delivered devastating blows to wild dog populations. Conflict with humans over livestock often leads to retaliatory killings, directly threatening the lives of lions. Yet, hope is not entirely lost. Conservation efforts are forging new paths. Wildlife corridors are being established to connect fragmented landscapes, allowing species to move more freely. Local communities are being supported to coexist peacefully with wildlife, reducing conflict and protecting both livelihoods and nature. Technology like GPS collars and camera traps helps us to monitor and better understand their lives, allowing for timely interventions. Protecting these two iconic predators is not just about saving them from extinction. It is an act of preserving the equilibrium of the entire savanna ecosystem. The future of this ancient land and the magnificent creatures that inhabit it now rests entirely in our hands.